Yes, we've traveled the world, and all of us here have done many things, and my humble achievements are surely outshadowed by the splendid number of people we have here. But one thing we learn when you travel around the world is that we are Indian. And so I'm going to ask a few questions. Why are we Indian? You know, we are Indian, but why are we Indian? What is the most important thing for the spread of knowledge? Why does Krishna wear pitambari? And why do we do Lakshmi Pujan at Diwali? And what is the most popular generic thing in fashion worldwide today? And how are all of them related? Interesting. Well, let me tell you a story. We have to go back to our cultural heritage. And like silk was a trade secret of China, the people living in the Indus Valley had their own trade secret. And that was, do you know what? Indigo. Indigo was the first resist dye known to humanity, and it created wonderful hues of blues which were popular around the world during that time, 4,700 years ago, and even today. So important and popular was the dye indigo that was given the status of godlike status and worshipped. And therefore, Krishna and Ram are not fair and lovely, but indigo. And Krishna and Ram wear pitambari, which is a golden fabric, which is a symbol of Lakshmi, because it brought in wealth. And therefore, on Diwali, we do Lakshmi Pujan. Now, and the most important generic thing in fashion worldwide is indigo blue jeans, denim, which most of you are wearing. And that is how these five are related. Cotton. Cotton was another plant that was cultivated in the Indus Valley. The oldest cotton species in the world trace their origins to the Indus, and the oldest cotton fabric ever found was in Mohenjo-daro, and the Babylonians record Sindhu as a word for cotton, which marks that the cotton originally came from the Sindhu Valley. Cotton weaving and the art of creating lustrous fabrics were one of the finest arts of the Indus Valley and brought the fame and prosperity to the people of India. During the time of the Buddhist period, so passionately beautiful were the textiles woven that they were given the names such as woven air, running water, and evening dew. And you can see the drapes, how beautiful they are, and they resemble as if it's running water or woven air. India ruled the world of fashion during that time. The first textiles found in the tomb of Ramesses II in Egypt, carbon dating has shown that they came from Gujarat, dyed and created in Ajrak prints, which are still popular 2,000 years later. Alexander the Great crossed the Hindu Kush mountains and came into India. He came to the Indus, and his historians recorded that Indians made such beautiful garments out of tree wool. They had never seen cotton before. And they were far more lustrous, beautiful, elegant, and decorative than those worn by the Europeans. In the time of the Roman Empire, Rome, Italy, capital of fashion, Augustus Caesar had to put a ban on the import of Indian textiles and restrict it to the highest nobility, because Pliny II, his historian, records that it was a huge drain on the Roman economy for the craze of Indian fashion. 2,000 years ago, the cave paintings of Ajanta very beautifully illustrate and present the extensive use of bandhani and ikat. The Arab traders later took it to Indonesia and all the way to Japan, and even till today, shibori and ikat are the popular modes of fashion in all across the Orient. They originated from India. Empress Josephine, wife of Emperor Napoleon, Paris, home of most of the beautiful fashion houses. This is her painting painted and portraying herself in the most elegant, beautiful dresses made out of Indian fabrics. So even the highest society in France preferred to wear Indian fabrics. Bahadur Shah, the Mughal emperor, during the Mughal time, India had developed extensive use and technologies to weave gold and silver into the finest fabrics, skin carves and brocades, dazzled the world from India. And so did Indian jewels. Queen Victoria, during this time, displaced Bahadur Shah Zafar, and most of the world was under imperial rule. What happens during the imperial time are two things. During this period, industrialization was taking place all over the world, and the handmade was being replaced by machine-made. The machines were ruling the world slowly but surely, and mass production was the key word to economic prosperity. With machines, there is something wrong in the slide thing, but with the machines came two things. Machines to work need fuel, so electricity or fossil fuel, and we started destroying ecology by building energy supply chains, whether it was for oil or creating the Three Gorge dams or hydropower stations, submerging our natural habitat, or exploiting our resources to support our machinery in mass production. With this, the carbon footprints that we started creating were huge, and fashion started becoming generic. It was no longer the artistic that ruled the world, but it was the generic. And it was creating clones which, you see in large supermarkets, hundreds and thousands of pieces made, at a time to sort of dress industrial workers. It was during this time that, 70 years of earth exploitation and generic, that people started to realize that we need to create a more individual and globalized identity, blending the artistic and fashion, bringing together ancient skills and modern technologies. So Vogue magazine and artists and textile experts from India and top fashion houses from Paris and Rome collaborated to create something that was wonderfully new and unique. So bandhani became, fabrics and outfits. This is a bandhani dress by Roberto Cavalli, and this is by Etro, Gujarati and Rajasthani bandhani. Patola, there's a Gucci dress made out of patola, and mushroom. This is a DKNY dress made of Baluchari saris, and Kashmiri embroideries and the chicken curry work made into sort of European pattern dresses, Christian Louboutin shoes, and these are beautiful brocade peplums made by Marc Jacobs for LVMH from using brocade saris. This is Karl Lagerfeld's Paris-Mumbai collection, and Hermes started making saris. Canali made bangalas, and all this was to try and explain how do we use Indian handmade resources and artistic fabrics to replace what was just made by machines. Yet, the world over, Ahmedabad became the largest denim producing city in the world, and industrial denim is what we export around the world from Ahmedabad. We had to bring in a little bit more change and bring awareness because of the carbon footprint. And to support industry of this nature, we started raising larger crops. So we created BT cotton. We started creating pesticides, plastics, and pollutants, which not only filled our land masses, but also polluted our oceans. And the carbon footprint created by this mass industrialization has left, like we heard, bad quality air and ozone holes, and depleted even our health standards. So what was the solution? Mahatma Gandhi, to fight industrialization and colonization, had come up with the idea of hand-woven, hand-spun and hand-woven khadi. So khadi had the new mantra, khadi for fashion, khadi for nation. And this is what we have to keep in mind, that because we have to create sustainable economies, these are economies, and today industries in Ahmedabad have also woken up and they are creating sustainable rural communities which grow organic cotton and natural indigo. These are creating wonderful sustainable rural economies so that the pressure on urbanization has decreased, so urban poverty is on the decline, and the carbon footprints are also being negated. And khadi, this is khadi denim. So the way forward is khadi denim, hand-woven, hand-spun organic cotton with or indigo natural dyes. Now what does this mean? The largest India is 65% young, below 30, and most people here wear denim and cotton t-shirts. This is the most popular generic thing in fashion. Now if the demand for organic jeans and organic cotton was high, industry would be forced to produce because of demand-supply equation, and we could have a whole world filled with very fine, young, trendy clothing, with collaboration between rural communities and high-end fashion houses, which could be a sustainable way forward. So this is the image of young, like all of you here at TEDx are also so many young indigo jeans, white cotton t-shirts as a generic fashion statement that could dress the world and still leave a very low carbon footprint or no carbon footprint, leaving a healthy earth, which is wealth for tomorrow. Thank you. And interestingly, you know, very soon, in the next week or so, the first Indigo Museum opens in Ahmedabad. It will document the heritage of our Indian history. And like Paulo Coelho said, you know, in The Alchemist, Santiago, he left his home in Andalusia to look for wealth and happiness, till he came back full circle to where he started from. Our wealth from the Indus Valley, cotton and indigo, is still going to be our wealth for tomorrow. Yeah.